so nervous. It's so stupid. I literally speak in front of people all the time and I'm nervous for something. Yeah.
Okay. We're Rollins.
Rollins?
Rollins. Pillow.
Okay.
Say hi.
Hello. I really don't know why I'm so nervous right now.
It's his first time on the YouTubes. Is it your first time on the YouTubes?
It is, in fact, the first time
On the
YouTubes.
tube.
On the U.
The tube of the U.
Yes.
This is the man's.
That's me.
Yikes. I'm just fucking with my hair. I do this every single episode because I get nervous too. You're making me nervous.
Okay, I'm sorry.
My hands and feet are sweating.
Wow. Same.
So, I don't know what episode this is. When I edit it, I'm gonna put the number in there.
Okay. That episode.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, so the YouTube's episode, whatever this is, we're gonna do a separate one for life updates. He is one of them. There's an episode just for him. Yeah. And then for my boot camp next month, he'll probably be doing most of the video because I'm gonna have him take a video of me right out of surgery and high on life. So hopefully I'm not a bad high person. That'll be interesting. But yeah, anywho. Oh yeah, the third thing is this episode, and that is how we met. So, backstory on that, as you guys know, I was single for a pretty long time, like over 2 years. Over 2 years, and if you don't count that relationship of like barely 4 months, like 4 years, so long time. So my best friend Tara, she made me download Hinge. She didn't make me, but she thought it was a really good idea.
Suggested it.
Highly suggested and made my profile essentially. Back in I think like February.
Can I drink water during this?
Yeah, you can drink water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, I was on there for like a couple weeks. I didn't like it. Ended up getting off. And then came back on in June, like mid-June, basically. Not even. Later June. I only had it for like, I think, a week and a half, 2 weeks. We had a bunch of malfunctions. So now we're doing this on my phone instead of my camera. And we lost most of the video. So we are restarting this.
Completely over?
Not completely.
Oh.
Mostly over. So, second time I downloaded those apps. I had it for, I think, maybe 2 weeks. Didn't have it very long and wasn't finding really anything on Hinge, so I was like, fuck it. I heard Bumble's good too. So I downloaded Bumble, and what would you know? Found this gem there. Even though he said he was on Hinge, but I did not see him on Hinge. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so I suck at text messaging. Like, messaging people back, text messaging, anything. I suck at it. Especially on phones and dating apps. Like, I was really bad at responding.
Oh, you were the worst.
Yeah. So, I think it took, my doctor's appointment, if anybody saw my story that day, I was at the La Jolla doctor's appointment, and it took me almost 4 hours to be seen from my appointment time. I was really pissed off because I didn't have my laptop or anything so I could do work, so I had nothing but time.
So I was that filler.
He was the filler. So then I was like, well, I guess I can message this guy back.
I made me feel real special.
We're very special.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I was like, you know what? This guy's really cute. I'm gonna message him back. And we messaged back and forth, like basically the entire time. And he made my appointment a million times better because after it was all said and done, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna shoot my shot. I'm gonna give him my phone number, which is something I never do. My phone number's not even on my business cards. Like, I don't give my phone number out to people. I'm like super weird about that. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I have like almost an hour and a half drive back because, you know, freaking Southern California traffic. And so I messaged him. I was like, hey, here's my number. Call me, keep me company if you would like, if that's not weird. And I didn't think he was gonna call me.
Yeah, it wasn't weird. It was just like very forward. Obviously, as you know, I was at the gym and I had just gotten there, and like she was saying, she terrible at texting back or messaging back in general. And I think we had maybe been talking for like what, a couple, 2 or 3, maybe 4 days, like messaging me back once every 5, 6 hours.
The 24-hour thing, right? Otherwise the conversation goes away.
I think it's just.
Is that just the initial?
Yeah,
I don't know how that shit works. Yeah.
But she would take like literally 6 hours to send me one message. So I was like, okay, this girl is either one, she's way too pretty to be real, or 2, she is just way too busy. So I was like, whatever. But then she sends me her phone number and she's like, here's my number. I don't know if you're busy, but you can call me if you want. And I had literally just gotten to the gym, like warming up, and I was like, I have 2 options here. Option 1, I let her know that I just got to the gym and I can call her when I'm done working out. Or option 2, I'm just like, okay, whatever, I'll call you. And all this stuff.
I would probably not picked up though.
Yeah, so I was like, all this stuff is running through my head, and I'm like, if I tell her that I'll call her after I'm done working out, which is like an hour and a half from now, she's probably gonna be like, oh, I'm home, or I'm busy, and I'm just like, that was my chance gone. So I was like, you know what? I can postpone this workout for 45 minutes to an hour. I'll just go outside and stretch and call her or whatever. So I went with option 2, and I gave her a call, and we started talking we were on the phone for like what, over an hour, while I was on the track, on base, literally just working out, or like I was just stretching and warming up to the point where I was like, there's nothing left to stretch, and I just sat on the field and was like a weirdo by myself, and as everybody's like running around and working out. So yeah, it was funny. I think a couple of my friends actually showed up and came up to me a couple of times and asked what I was doing, and I was like, oh, I'm on the phone, and they're like, oh, okay. And
me.
And yeah, that was how it started. And
it was a shitty day for me.
Yeah, for you it was. And then it was such a bad day that you were like, I'm hungry, or I want to.
Yeah, I had so much work I had to do, but at this point I was like, my day's ruined. I don't have enough time. I just want to relax. And so I was on the phone with him, and I was like, I could really go for some froyo, some frozen yogurt.
Well, first you asked if I knew what froyo was.
Did I?
I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah, obviously I know what froyo is.
Yeah.
But.
And then I was like, do you want to get froyo? And he's like, sure. When's your availability this week?
Apparently she meant right now.
Like, I was like, no, right now.
And I was just like, oh, well, can I finish working out for like 45 minutes to an hour and then go shower and I'll meet you there or something? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. So I couldn't even focus on working out. I was just trying to like hurry up and work out as fast as I could so I could go home, shower, and then go meet up with her because I was super excited.
Did you even get a workout at all?
Yeah, I think I worked out for I think I did like a HIIT workout, and I was just like trying to kill myself in the gym so I could at least do something before I went and met up with you. But yeah, I think I worked out for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, and then he was like, do you want me to pick you up, or the people that know me very well know that I have a really bad luck with stalkers. So for me to give out my number or have someone pick me up at my apartment, like, never in a million years would do. But I was like, you know what would Erica not do? Because what Erica's been doing is not working. So what would Erica not do? I was like, you know what, you can pick me up. And I didn't tell him my exact apartment. I just gave him like the address for the leasing center. And when I was getting ready, like, I was like super freaking nervous. I called my best friend Tara, and I was like, I don't know what to wear. And then she's like, just be chill. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna put a hoodie on and my Vans on. Like, this is me. I'm gonna be as freaking plain Jane as possible because
still look hot.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I was wearing just like this Jiu Jitsu hoodie and my Vans. Like, that's usually my go-to look anyways, is always my Vans and a hoodie. Casual. Basically very casual.
Business cash.
Not business cash, no.
Just
and
casual.
then I don't know, and I was like, I don't even want to put on a ton of makeup because fuck it, like, if he doesn't like me how I am, then at least I know now, and I'm not fucking trying. But I was so nervous, and then I like took my dog out on a walk, and then he told me he was here, and I was like, oh fuck. And then I was like, oh, I gotta get ready and put Vinny up, and then I'll let you tell this part of the story because it's funny.
So, I mean, the whole sequence of events were hilarious. There was like funny parts during all of it, but I texted her and I was like, "Hey, I'm pulling in or whatever," and she was like, "Oh, okay, I'm putting my dog up," and I was like, "Okay." And that took her.
What you said was, and I remember. Do you know what I'm talking about?
What my truck looks like?
No, you're a typical woman, and I was like,
oh,
this motherfucker.
Yeah, I was like, typical girl late or whatever.
I'm always fashionably late for everything, unless it's work.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she goes and puts Vinny away, and then she's like, I'll be right down. And I was like, okay. And she asked like what I'm driving, and I gave her the description of my truck. And I was like, oh, it's a dark silver truck or whatever. And she she just reads truck or something like that. And
no, I read the gray part, just not the dark gray part.
Okay. So then she was like, I think you tried to call me. Or
FaceTimed.
Oh, you tried to FaceTime me. And she was like, hey, I'm by your truck. And I'm sitting in my truck. So I like look outside and I'm like, no, you're not. And she was like, I'm literally like looking through your window or something. And I was like, oh, she's definitely at the wrong truck. So I look outside and there's another truck, like maybe, I think it was like on the other side of the leasing center, like down a little bit. And I was like, oh, I see you or whatever. And then I think, what'd you say? You thought I was like ghosting you?
I thought, I tried FaceTiming him because I thought he was fucking around and like he actually wasn't here, because there was all the Silverados, they weren't his, and I was like, this guy is just ghosting me. I just got stood up. Hasn't been the first time, but I was like, I hope this never happens to me again. I was like, this is happening again. Are you kidding me? And then I see him just drive up, and I'm like, I just felt myself turn bright red. It was
pretty funny.
And then I accused him of lying because I was like, you just said silver. And then I pull up my text messages.
And she's like, oh.
To see that he said, in fact, dark silver.
Yeah.
It's like a charcoal. That's really what it is. It's not even a dark silver. It's like a charcoal.
Yeah. But yeah, so that part was funny. And then, we started. First, we tried to figure out where we were going to go, and then we ended up going to Yogurtland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We ended up going to Yogurtland, which is about 5 minutes away.
And we realized we only lived like 5 minutes away from each other, and we go to like the same places and stuff.
All the time.
But
literally
never
all the
ran
time.
into each other.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, we probably just never noticed each other. And I was like, first of all, there's no way I would never not be able to notice you. Like, I would notice. But anyways, so we ended up going to Yogurtland, and this was pretty funny. The whole trip there was just like random conversation, like getting to know each other. We get there, and I open the door for her or whatever, and we go inside, and she grabs like the small or the medium bowls from Yogurtland, and she handed it to me, and I was like, no thanks, and I set it down, and I grabbed
Both of ours.
Oh yeah, I took both of them. I was like, no. I was like, if we're getting froyo, then we're going all out. And I grabbed like the big cup.
And that's when I got butterflies for the first time.
Yeah, 'cause little did I know this girl can put down some food.
Yeah.
And she's a big foodie, so.
I am a big foodie.
Yeah, so then we ended up we got whatever flavors, and then went outside and then just started like trying to get to know each other and having random conversation, which was quite interesting on its own with that.
It was?
Yeah. It was good conversation.
It was good conversation.
I think.
That was.
It was, okay.
Yeah.
Very
I thought you were going to talk about... Oh.
Sorry.
It's okay. I thought you were going to talk about the
guy?
The Nam guy.
Oh, yeah. Nam?
Yeah, Vietnam.
Oh, Vietnam. Yeah. The Nam dude.
The Nam dude.
Yeah. So, I don't know. He's just weird.
Well, first of all, he was wearing a Cubs hat, and I'm from Chicago, so I was like, oh, Cubs, blah, 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 blah. And then that was a mistake, because then he didn't leave. He just kept talking to us. I'm like, wow, this dude is really, like, cock-blocking my date right now. And then he, like, looked at us. He's like, you know what? I've been watching you two. How long have you been married? And I just started dying laughing. Yeah. And I was like, why don't you tell him, honey? And he's just like, didn't know what to say, but I thought it was so funny.
So, I wanted to be like my normal, like, jokester self and be like, oh, we've been married for 10 years or something stupid, but I was like, what if she doesn't find that funny? She's like really creeped out by it or something.
Side note, I catfished the shit out of him.
No, she didn't.
Not physical aspects. Personality aspects. I felt like I catfished you because I was super nervous and I was super polite.
You're just very shy and reserved.
Yeah, very shy and reserved. And I'm like... Which
isn't you. But that doesn't mean you catfished me.
I felt like I did just because, like, I was like, oh, this guy probably thinks I'm really nice or something.
You are really nice, though.
And...
Oh, okay. Whatever. Anyways.
Wow. Anyways, so the guy kept going back and forth. Like, he went in there and then came back out, went in there. Like, at this point, we were there for a few hours already and I was getting irritated because I just wanted to enjoy my date. And then so I just asked him, I was like, can you take me home now? And, like, you just saw his little face. He was just like, oh.
I was just like, in my head, I was like, oh man, like the date's ruined, like it's over. I'm gonna take her home and I'm gonna go home and cut my losses. Like, wow. So, all because of some dude that we don't even know. But I'm like, yeah, sure, because I mean, it's not like I'm gonna be like, no, we're staying. So, so I was like, yeah, sure, I guess. And we go, start driving back or whatever, and I pull up, and then that's when you were like, do you want to...
Sure.
You were like, do you want to come upstairs? And I was like...
I quote, I'm not trying to fuck you. I just would like to continue our conversation.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. I was like, it's not like I have sex on the first date either, so whatever. And...
Well, I don't know. Like, again, if you ask any of my friends, like, I am, like, stranger danger, all that. I have to be careful because I've had really bad luck in the past. And, like, that's just very unlike me to do. But I didn't want the date to end. And, like, fast forwarding later on when he, like, learns more about me and hears about some of the shit I've been through, he was just like, that was dangerous. Don't ever do that again. Like,
yeah, I was very thrown off by the fact that you asked me. I just figured she had... Oh, sorry.
Oh.
upstairs.
Oh.
Whoops.
Oh.
Smiley girlfriend.
Yeah. Let's cut her.
Just kidding.
Oh.
Anyways, so I was like, what was it? Oh, I just assumed you had roommates or something. I was like, okay, like I wasn't expecting her to live on her own and just invite some random dude.
Which I did. And I was like, hold on, I need to bring my dog out to meet you first.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, cool. So her dog comes out and she like lets him go and he just like sprinted towards me and just like wanted me to pet him or whatever, which I love dogs. I have 2 dogs of my own. So yeah, then she was like, oh, well, he's a good judge of character, so if he likes you, then it's good. And I was like, okay, whatever. So we come upstairs, and yeah, that's when I was like, oh, you live by yourself? Like, why are you inviting, like not that I'm gonna kill you or anything, but you shouldn't be inviting.
And I made jokes like all night. I was like, oh, this is where you kill me.
Yeah, and I was like, you don't just invite random strangers up to your place when you live by yourself. I did.
No.
Yeah.
Later on.
Well, yeah.
Not when you came up though. You didn't say that. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, you could sit here, and
yeah.
I was really flustered because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna die. Like this is what I should not do.
Then I thought maybe I was gonna die. I didn't know. I was like, maybe she's gonna kill me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
then he was over for a few more hours.
Which was. What time did I leave? Like 11:30?
Yeah, it was late. Like
I have work next day. Didn't you have work the next day too?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I had to be up at 4 the next morning.
Yeah, I think I had to. I don't know. I had to be up at like 5:30, I think. But
it was funny. He was like, "When can I see you next?" I was like, "Tomorrow."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, he had like nightlight now with students, so he wouldn't be able to." And I was just like, "Oh, okay."
Well, the next day.
Yeah, and then he was like, but I'm available Wednesday. And I was like, Wednesday it is.
Yeah.
And that date lasted from freaking 10 a.m. to 5 the next morning.
Yeah.
We did not have sex.
No.
No. We were literally just like, I was just kidding. He's a huge gentleman.
Wait, you skipped the part where we were leaving, where I left the first date.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, rewind. So, first date, I walk him out to his truck when he's about to leave. Okay, you go. I don't want to even talk about it because my hands are sweating.
Okay, so I'm exhausted, and we both like to go to bed really early, and so we walk out to my truck, and you get that like first day awkward moment where you're like, how do you say bye or whatever, and
well, I was afraid he was gonna like try and make out with me or something. Yeah. I was like, oh shit.
Which I wouldn't have. I wasn't planning on it, but not that I didn't want to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. But so we're standing there by my truck, and we're like still talking because I think we're both like kind of nervous of how to say bye. So I'm standing there, and I think I'm like leaning on my truck or something. I don't know. With my
You're
back
just
to it.
so handsome, and it made me so nervous. I was like, oh my god, if he kisses me, like, what do I do? I was like, do I kiss him? Like, I want to kiss him. He's really cute. Like, oh my god, like.
And all that, I'm assuming all that's like running through her head. So her reaction is to literally give me like the quick like pat hug, and then just like turn around and walk away.
Like really fast.
Yeah. So she was like, okay, bye, and then just like walked away. And I was like, didn't even have a chance to like try and even attempt to hug her back. So she turns around and starts walking away, and I'm just standing there like, oh, okay. And she's literally speed walking away, and as she's walking away, I'm kind of like laughing a little bit, and she just like looks back, and she's like, oh, okay, and then turns around and continues walking.
And I'm saying, oh, okay, yeah, and I'm like still talking, and I'm like, Erica, shut the fuck up.
It was, and then I just start laughing. I'm like, all right, bye. And then I get in my truck, and I live at the time I live like what 5 minutes away from here, and like the whole drive home, I'm literally laughing. Like it was so funny to me that how awkward she was like during that portion. It was pretty funny.
Really awkward.
But then yeah, I got home and I texted her and I was like, hey, I had a great time. That's when I was like, when can I see you next? And then fast forward, she was like, oh, tomorrow. And I was like, oh, I can't because of Nightland Night with the students or whatever. But then we met up the next night, or the next day.
Yeah. We had all types of adventures.
Yeah.
We went on a hike because we both like outdoor stuff. Went on a hike. I want to tell them about. So after the hike, we both have a thing for burgers and fries.
Oh yeah.
We love burgers and fries. I'm a whore for burgers and fries.
Jeez. Whore? Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
you can tell that story.
Yeah. So
this is like the longest like video thingy ever, probably. I don't know.
So I was like, she asked me like, what do you want to eat? And I was like, I don't really care. I'm not very picky. I can pretty much eat anything. And she's like, well, what do you like? And I was just like, literally anything. And then she's like, well, do you like burgers? Do you like seafood? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I love burgers and fries. And she was like, okay, so we'll go there.
I was really excited.
And then where did we end up going?
Ty's Burgers in Oceanside
right.
off of Mission. The bomb.
Yeah,
Love
super
that
good.
place.
So we get there and we order food. Excuse me. And I'm sure most people, like the first time they eat together, are like very nervous and like try to eat really slow and not get like food everywhere or whatever. This girl,
that's not me.
She, I'm over here like I get my burger and fries and I'm like putting ketchup and like on the side and getting my like ready to eat or whatever. Put pepper on my fries. I kid you not. By the time I like go to take the first bite of my burger, she was already done eating. Like done completely. And I look up and she's got like ketchup and mustard and like stuff all over her hands and her mouth, like everywhere. And I'm like, I've never seen somebody so just excited and just like straight nirvana from eating food. It was pretty funny. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna eat now, I guess. But it was pretty funny. She like closes her eyes while she eats and tries to like just tune everything out. Because I think you told me, you're like, when I eat, I'm not gonna talk. Yeah.
And then I learned it again in psychology, but
yeah, that was pretty funny. That was a good time. And she does that literally every time. Gets food all over the place.
I'm not a neat eater.
Yeah.
I'm messy.
But I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I was like, dang, this guy always picks the big cups for froyo and likes how I eat, so.
Yeah.
Good one.
I can appreciate someone who likes food as much as me.
Mm-hmm.
I think you like it more than me, but nonetheless.
I get really hangry.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I thought I got very angry, but you're on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then I don't know where you want to go from there. We went on a bunch of dates. And
Our third date never ended.
It went a long time. What was it like?
Well, yeah, it ended up ending, but like almost 2 months.
Yeah, because we saw each other
literally
every single day. It was nice.
But yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's basically that's how we met.
Good old Bumble.
Shoot your shot. I was like, this guy is so out of my league and he's so cute. Even though I was like the worst texter, I was like, there's no way this guy's like a nice guy and looks like that. Look at your face.
I like to think I'm a nice guy, but
he's very nice.
Yeah.
And easy on the eyes.
And by out of her league, like she's up here and I'm
no.
Down. She's up here. You can't even see. That's how out of her league I am. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's funny because, like I didn't really tell anybody about it except for after the second date, I texted my two best friends in our group chat and I was like, this is it. This is the one. And yeah.
I think I got a little irritated because you were like, I just texted my two best friends. And I was like, oh, what'd you say? And you were like, nothing. I'll tell you some other time.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I was like,
well, I didn't want to say something like an idiot.
yeah.
I mean,
and then I think like what, a month later, you finally were like, I think it was longer than a month later. She was like, you want to know what I told my friends? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I told them you were the one. And I was like, on the second date. Nice. Cute.
When you know, you know.
Very true.
He's
very,
cute.
Very true. Oh, yeah, I don't know about that.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
You're so awkward. It's ridiculous. So funny.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying. The running joke was that I was going to be the crazy dog lady with all my friends. I'm always the third wheeler. Like all these years. And like I would never bring a guy to my Jiu Jitsu academy, but now I feel like my Jiu Jitsu academy likes him more than me, and he trains him more than I do too. So it's cool. He's actually better than I am too. Doesn't hurt my feelings or anything. She see us roll sometime. There's a funny time where like he was throwing me basically, and I accidentally kicked
me in the balls.
Mm-hmm. And I like, you just, like I didn't know it happened until like I like fell and I'm like, wind knocked out of me, but I started laughing and then I see that he's on the ground just like grabbing himself.
I was on all fours. Yeah. Just like I was dead.
It was the funniest thing.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't funny at all. And I didn't know she was laughing.
I was laughing. My one of my best guy friends, Braulio, had all of these pictures. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, and I saw these pictures like the next day.
Yeah, through social media. Not even like I don't even think I showed them.
No, and I was like, you were laughing, and I was like, I think that hurt more than you actually kicking me was the fact that you were laughing at the fact that you hurt me. I was like, whatever. But
it was funny.
It was not funny, but
it was funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think people, I don't know what people think. I don't really care either. I think most people probably think it's like, whoa, this is fast.
Yeah, but like you said, I think it's, and I've told my friends the same thing. It's like, and she makes fun of me because I'm like, I'm a 27-year-old man. Like
27? No, you say I'm a 27 grown ass man.
Yeah, I say that. I've only said that a few times.
He says it passionately, and he says it with such like.
I mean it. I know what I want at this point, and yeah, like people will say, oh, it's fast. You guys are moving fast or whatever, and it's like when you know, like we've both had life experience, so I think
a lot of life experience. And we were just talking today about how like, because I was thinking, I'm like, dang, we could have avoided so much heartache if we just met each other earlier.
Yeah. But we wouldn't have the experience and patience. For me is a big one. I wouldn't have all that.
I need all the patience I can get.
Yeah. Well, no, but I've learned to have a lot more patience from past relationships
and stuff.
I think, like you said, things happen for a reason, and we're better for it, even though some of it hurt. But
that hurted.
That hurted a lot.
A lot. Lottle.
But yeah, she has made me. She's helped me find my way back to who I am and back on track, and because I was hurting for quite a while. But she's introduced me. Obviously, like the relationship is amazing, but she's helped me a lot to again find myself and be who I am. And then she's obviously introduced me to Jiu Jitsu, which has helped me out a lot, which for me was an interesting transition because I have like a wrestling background from high school. So getting into Jiu Jitsu and meeting her friends and the academy who were more than like welcoming, and just like they were the best people ever. And the professor there is like, I've only known him or known a lot of them for like 2 months? How long have I been going? Like 2 months. And he's like a huge influence on me, and he's awesome, and he's already taught me a lot. But I think Jiu Jitsu has really helped a lot, not just her and all this other stuff, but
all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And he has bomb ass friends because of me.
Sure.
Our friends are awesome.
Good peeps. Good peeps for sure.
So yeah. Now he's going to Hawaii in February.
January, February, March. I don't know yet. Hawaii is coming though.
It's coming. Yeah. Got orders.
I'm excited.
It was so shitty too because like didn't you request it like right before you met me?
Yeah.
He requested Hawaii right before he met me, and then wasn't sure he was gonna get it, and then like we started just seeing each other all the time. And I was so excited, and then he was just like, I got my orders, and I was like, oh, like I'm like, please be Kit Pendleton again, please be Pendleton. And he's like, yeah, I got Hawaii, and I'm like, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, it was weird, like she was saying. I originally requested Hawaii just because I was like, I loved my time there. I was there for 6 years, my first go around, and it was the best time of my life. And then the guy who tells us like where we're going originally, he was like, no way, not happening. And I was like, okay. And then he wanted to send me East Coast, and then talked about maybe sending me to Europe, which I was like, okay, cool, like I'll do that. But then
that would have been so shitty.
Yeah.
I mean, cool for you.
Yeah. But he was like, I asked for Hawaii, and he was like, no. And then I asked for Pendleton, and he was like, no. And I was like, shoot. So
shoot.
Shoot,
boy.
I was like, I don't really have many options because there's no way I'm going East Coast. I have no family there. I have no friends. Like, I have nothing there for me. And then he comes back a little while later, and he was like, hey, you're going to Hawaii. And I was like, awesome, let's do it. But then I was like, shoot.
Shoot, heck.
I was like, shit, what do I do about Erica? So, yeah, so now I'm going there in January, February, March. I don't know yet, but
yeah, we're not.
It's going to be at the beginning of the year for 2020 for sure, though, which we'll see what happens. I'm excited, but not at the same time. I don't know.
Ditto. Yeah. That's the story. I like mulatto. Mulatto.
It's funny all the random little words we use that.
Yeah, we use a lot of weird words. We're so corny. But
we're awesome.
We are awesome, but we're so corny. Like, I am a corny person, but like naturally, like I would hate people like us. Not hate them, but I'm like, yeah. It's funny. Oh, on our second date, like
I was at the mall.
Yeah, at the mall. So like this date, like just was such a long date because like we just kept coming up with things to do next because we didn't want to end the date, and we just didn't. But it was funny. So after Ty's Burgers, so we had the lunch. Then we went to my client's store and got coffee at my favorite coffee place next to her store. And then I was like, let's go to the mall. And then, so we were just, it was like a high school date, I feel like.
Yeah.
It was like.
This is very casual.
Yeah, like we're like, let's walk around at the mall. And I'm like, Erica, what the fuck?
I think we're just trying to like figure out ways to continue.
Yeah, it was just
like extending the date every single time. But yeah, I think were we in Vans when I asked you?
No, not Vans. It was was it Hot Topic or?
No, it was PacSun, I think.
No, not PacSun.
Some random store.
It was like one of the stores. It wasn't Vans though. Vans was the first store.
Yeah,
I
don't think it was Hot Topic.
It was something. Journeys.
Weird. Oh,
it's Journeys, yeah.
Right. we go in there, and again, this is only our second date, so I'm still trying to like feel her out and figure out like how she is and as a person and stuff. And I was like, at this point, like we obviously haven't held hands or anything. Like nothing has really happened besides walking next to each other.
We brushed shoulders once.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, but
oh, that's how it was.
Oh, yeah, mutual.
Yeah, okay.
So I was like, I asked her how she felt about PDA, and what did you say? You were like,
I was like,
oh,
absolutely
never,
not, never.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, we'll see.
And I was like, no, we'll see.
Yeah, you were like, no,
I'm
not kidding. I don't do PDA.
Like, I don't do PDA. I don't like. I don't know.
Holding hands, no touching, like no like
anything.
Nothing.
Because I haven't done it in so long. Like, let's just. I don't know. Yeah.
But she lied. She's a liar. She was just
I'm very needy, actually.
She was just putting on a front.
No, I wasn't putting on a front, but I was just, I don't know. I
she was.
really liked him, and I was like, oh, don't, like, keep holding me. Don't, if he's not holding my hand, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why aren't you touching me?
Yeah. Whether we're like in my truck, in her car, or just walking around, or I'm surprised right now she hasn't been like, why aren't you holding me? Like, it's all the time, so.
It's his fault.
Yeah. I don't know why that's my fault, but okay.
Yeah.
I think at this point I've just learned to be like, okay, yeah, it's my fault.
No.
Just kidding. But yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, we're like the same love languages too, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I think. Do you consider yours first words of affirmation or physical touch first?
I think physical touch, and it doesn't have to be like it could just like anything. It doesn't have to be like intimate physical touch. It's just like holding hands or putting my arm around her when we're walking, which literally happens all the time. And if it's not, she's like, why aren't you holding my hand? Why aren't you putting your arm, or she'll just literally latch on to me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
our only exception is Jiu
at the
Jitsu.
academy.
Yeah. He learned the hard way.
No, it was one time.
It was one time. It's the one and only.
I think I put my arm around her or something at the academy, and she had told me before, which I didn't expect. It kind of just like slipped, I guess, because I don't want to make people uncomfortable, especially like our friends or like at a establishment like that, where like it's a jiu-jitsu academy. We're not there to like flirt and do anything like that, because
it's all physical touch.
Yeah, and if you were to ever go there, like when we roll, it's not even a little, like it's aggressive, and we're going hard.
Yeah, people wouldn't even know we were dating.
Yeah, not even a little bit.
Yeah, and especially when we're rolling.
And I think I'm pretty hard on her whenever we are rolling, just because, especially like stand up jiu-jitsu, like she hates takedowns, and I'm like, nope, stand up, and she'll be like, no, and I'm like, I'm not, okay, then we're not going, like stand up and like we're gonna go. And she, yeah, like she said, you wouldn't even think that we were dating in the academy, just because like that's how it should be.
I mean, he knows how I am. Like, I don't like being treated differently.
Yeah, and
I like, if I do get treated differently, I get mad.
Yeah, she gets upset.
And I'll become a dick if I don't get treated equal.
Yeah. But yeah, there was that one time where did I try to like hold you?
You like grabbed me from behind to hold me, and then tried kissing me, and I was like, get off of me.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shoot. And it was like an honest mistake. I was just like, oh crap, like what am I doing? Why did I do that? Yeah. But yeah, we don't do that there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Because whenever we're like hanging out with our friends, it's fine. We don't really.
Yeah, I don't think anybody cares.
Yeah.
But like that, I've never shown PDA in front of my friends either. Like, my friends are like fucking shook basically with how I am around him too.
Yeah. Which they tell me, and they tell me that all the time, and I'm like, really? Like, but then again, that's all I know is like how she is around me, so obviously I don't know.
What did they tell you?
When?
What if they told you?
They're just, they're just like, she's never been like this. She doesn't. I think it's the big one's the PDA. Like, she doesn't let people like touch her, like grab her, or like give her hugs or anything, and I'll like kiss her on the cheek and stuff all the time in front of them, and she's like, she loves, she's like that. She gets all like emotional and all mushy.
Yeah, I'm such a fucking mush.
Yeah, and her friends tell me that all the time. They're like, oh, like that's how we know that she's happy, is because she does that. And I'm like, well, that's a good thing for me. Obviously, I'm doing something right. So yeah.
He's broken down a lot of barriers. I think it's night and day since we started dating. At least for me, it feels like it.
Yeah. Even for me too. I mean, I don't think I was as reserved. Maybe at first, because at first I was like very. Not that I'm.
Communication was a really big one for me. Like, I'm just used to shutting down and just.
This is what brought us back to like my patience level, because old me, there's no way. Like, that would have been super frustrating. And she had told me that like from the get-go, and she was like, you just have to be patient. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, I've learned to be, or at least I think I have. I've learned to be patient, and so I think that was the biggest one.
Yeah. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. I thought it was interesting. I don't know. I think our story's interesting. Probably not. I feel like every couple probably thinks their story's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
I thought
it was.
I thought it was interesting. I think it's funny. September 14th, we're both competing, and it's gonna be his first. It's gonna be my second, and then he's competing again on the 21st. I get my boobies done on the 25th, and then he leaves me for a course. Oh, his name's Zeus, by the way. I don't think I said your name.
I don't think you did.
Yeah.
It's Jesus.
Subscribe, like it, share it. I don't know if this is something shareable. But if you liked it, or you want us to do another one of us together, let us know. Or if you just want to stare at his pretty fucking face, you could do that too.
Or her beautiful face. Or her gorgeous eyes.
He's obsessed with my eyeballs.
That I am.
Only reason why he's dating me.
Yeah.
This is us.
The best.
You the best.
Okay.
Alright. Is that it?
I think so. I don't know. This is your video.
It is my video.